say, survey across the United States? Possibly, but this is very representative of the consumers in North Carolina.
So I guess the question related to that is, you know, if a marketer has you doing this for them, and they kind of think they know their target market, would they want you to segment out their target market out of that? The people that they think mainly buy their product, because maybe 60% of their target market is men. I don't know, you know, something like that.
No, absolutely, and I can do that in one of two ways. Either they can let me know ahead of time, and I can easily let me backtrack a little bit. I run the Sensory Service Center. I'm one of the students who helps run that. And so I use the software program that we designed these surveys. And in these surveys, I can write skip statements to say, I don't want any men, or I don't want anybody under the age of 18. I can write those statements to kick those people out as soon as they log on. And so that's something I can do if the marketer company or the product developer company tell me ahead of time who they don't want. After the fact, I can take out those consumers. If they tell me, I want to look at just men who purchase 2 to 3 times a week, I can then take that out. That's how I got the lactose intolerant group out. I took that demographic information, because I asked them the question, do you consider yourself lactose intolerant? And if they said yes, I took those people out, then I took out their grouping of utility scores and reran the data. So I can segment based upon anything that I like. And just a little side note, it has been shown through different research studies that if you try to segment based upon demographic information, you don't gain much in knowledge of the utility scores. But if you segment based upon behavior questions, so things that aren't necessarily like, I'm a boy, I'm 18 years old, but by, I like to buy coffee this much a week, or I like to go to coffee houses, or yeah, I think I'm lactose intolerant. You get more utility out of segmenting that way. Next question.
Question on lactose-free milk versus lactose-free non-milk. Do you remember what the percentages were?
56.4 and 46. Let me go right back, Coach Sway.
And I see that there's significant difference, and they are really yearly. How meaningful is that difference?
That's a great question. So how meaningful is this difference? Well, if I am a head of a CEO of a company, I would want to look at this and say, yeah, if I am a CEO of some kind of dairy company, I'm going to look at this and say, let's investigate this further. That's what this tells me. Let me investigate this further. This is just that initial data collection. Let's go make products, let's go do some consumer tests, and let's see if we can match up conjoint data to consumer test data. Like any statistical technique, there's a margin of error. So I'm doing this to 95% confidence. So can I say for sure if you market lactose-free milk it's going to be successful? I can't say that for 100% confidence. I can't. But what I can say is that based upon this data, that it looks like consumers prefer lactose-free milk to soy milk. That's what I can say.
Is there any way you can predict who would switch over? If the soy people would come over to lactose-free milk, if it were available, is that a...
That is a great question. Not with this survey. So the question was, could I take the soy milk people, maybe ask them a couple of really insightful questions like, hey, if I was to give you this, how likely would you be to choose it? I could. In a second conjoint, where I would then email only to the people that said they prefer soy milk, give them different combinations of possible products. And most likely the best way to do that would be with the adaptive choice-based conjoint that I mentioned earlier with Dr. Davis's question, because then I can give them things about like product concepts ahead of time and start priming them for the goal of that survey. That's a very interesting idea.
I think we could ask questions all day, but let's give her a break here. Very good.